Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I just wanted to come and run my mouth and talk about some people. All right, so let's get into this mess. Faith Evans granted court order to have vehicle returned after estranged husband Stevie J allegedly stole it to attend Coachella. Stevie responds, "I would have taken a jet." Well, why didn't you? Okay. This is according to the Jasmine brand. So the divorce between Faith Evans and Stevie J seems to be getting tense. According to Radar Online, the R&B songstress filed an emergency court order in the midst of their pending separation, asking a judge to have the music producer return a car of hers he allegedly took without permission. Faith Evans, 49, reportedly filed a motion on April the 12th. In the legal doc, the singer accused ex-Stevie J, real name Stephen Jordan, 51, of taking her 2023 Mercedes Sprinter van to attend the Coachella Music Festival. The musician said she purchased the car after they split, and not only wants that vehicle back, but reportedly wants Stevie banned from using her other vehicles as well. The musical couple officially filed for divorce back in November 2021 after 3 years of marriage, and Charlie reconciled before calling it quits again nearly a year later. Reportedly, Stevie took the car after Evans fell asleep. When I tell you, can you imagine going to sleep and honey girl, you wake up and girl, you going to get you some Taco Bell or something because you probably hungry. Child, you wake up and girl, you go look for your keys and your keys is gone and you like, girl, I know I left my keys on this counter. You go, where is my keys? And then you realize, girl, that man that sleep beside you gone too. And you be like, hold up. I know I ain't took my car. I know he took my call. Then you get your phone and you call and he ain't answering. But you know where your car at. And you know who got it. um uh Reportedly, Stevie took the car after Evans fell asleep and was able to find the keys in its usual location. The singer reportedly doesn't want her hit making ex-husband. Um, sorry. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where my girl. I don't know where my eyeballs went, but they are not, girl. Where am I at? The singer reportedly doesn't want her hit making ex. I said husband. I swear, y'all, I be telling y'all, I be seeing words that don't be here, and then when I start looking, I'm like, girl, where's the word at that I finished just saying? But it's not on the paper. The singer reportedly doesn't want her hit making ex. I said husband, remember? Doesn't want her hit making ex taking her vehicles for several reasons, noting specifically his suspended license. Um, the legal document also reportedly cites insurance concern, adding the insurance policy does not cover Stevie. He is an authorized to drive. A court order reportedly mandated Stevie return the vehicle immediately. As the news gained traction, the music producer reportedly denied the accusations. Stevie reportedly claimed he didn't even attend Coachella. No, you didn't attend because I can tell you what happened. I can tell you exactly what happened. Stevie, no, you didn't attend Coachella. You didn't attend Coachella. What happened was when Faith fell asleep, you were probably up tossing back a few glasses of Hennessy or drinking up some of her liquor out of her cabinet. And then, girl, you grabbed your keys and went and saw one of your side. Okay? That's what that was about. So we know you wasn't in Coachella. Girl, because you couldn't make it to Coachella because you was over there dipping in somebody's coochie. Coochie Ella. Okay? So you didn't attend Coachella. You definitely attended Coachella, okay? I want to get on Faith a little bit. Faith, if y'all are going through a separation, about to get a divorce, then maybe they still live together. Okay, never mind. I heard that sometimes, even when you're getting a divorce, that it's best for you to remain in the house. Isn't that what they say? Okay, never mind. I was about to get into Faith a little bit. Okay, so they're getting a divorce. Both of them are going to remain in the house until everything is settled. He said, "I didn't go to Coachella, but if I did, I wouldn't have taken that vehicle. I would have taken a jet. Ask anybody if I went to Coachella. I was working." As part of the divorce negotiations, it's reported that Stevie is asking for monthly spousal alimony. Oh, girl. When I tell you, girl, y'all, oh, girl. When I tell you, girl, I would be, I do have a double standard. I hate, girl, I don't even know how I could not. Ugh. Speaking of, speaking of, speaking of men trying to take women money, a woman's money. Kenya Moore's ex, Mark Daly, dropped by divorce lawyer weeks before trial. So Kenya Moore's estranged husband, Mark Daly, has been dropped by his lawyer just weeks before he is set to head to trial. According to Radar Online, Mark Daly's lawyer, Regina Edwards, informed the court last week of her decision to step down from the case. Edwards said that Mark has 10 days to object to her motion. He also will be responsible for preparing trial and hiring a new lawyer. Although the trial is set for May 22nd, Edwards said, however, said proceedings will not be affected by the undersigned's withdrawal. As we previously reported, Kenya Moore officially filed for divorce from from Daly back in May of 2021. After 4 years of marriage, the pair began to struggle after saying "I do" early on and separated in 2019. After rekindling things early 2020, the two once called off things for a few months. The two once called things off for a few months later. Called things off a few months later. Moore and Daly shared one daughter together, Brooklyn. Um, Mark agreed to the divorce with Kenya having primary custody. However, he demanded joint legal custody. Prior to filing for divorce, Kenya filed a custody case against Mark. During the battle, Mark attempted to block their daughter from filming Real Housewives of Atlanta without his approval. Kenya argued her job required her to share her life, which included Brooklyn. The judge ultimately sided with Kenya, claiming there was no evidence that Brooklyn would be an environment that might be in the minor's that might not be in the minor child's best interest or may in any way be considered dangerous or inappropriate. You know what the real gag is? Because he's trying to take her money. Y'all know that, right? He's trying to take her money, and I think he also trying to like get her house or something like that. I think allegedly. You know what the real gag is? Is he didn't want at one point he didn't want Brooklyn to appear on Real Housewives of Atlanta. For those who don't watch the show, we already knew, the baby head was born. We saw Brooklyn, and then out the blue, they started covering her face up. Um, and we knew that was the reason why. So you would see her body, you just wouldn't see her face. But this is the gag. You know that a part of being on the show is showing your life. Hence why she got demoted, fired, contract, money taken back. Y'all know what happened when Kenya got married off the show? Bravo said, "Oh baby, no ma'am." So you saw what the consequence was for her not showing part of her life, which was her getting married. People are supposed to show their kids on the show, being that it's a reality TV show. But then you want to act a fool and not allow your daughter to be on the show, which then in turn would not allow your wife still legally his wife, not to make money, which could potentially put her job on the line, which then could make her unemployed. But you're also trying to you see what I'm saying? But you don't have the money. Like, it's like, girl, y'all got to watch out for these men. Mark talked all that mess on the show, talking about how he would start all over. He could build another restaurant and blah, 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 and this and this. And I am man and hear me roar and I'm this and I'm that. And girl, the whole time, girl, you was a sheep and wolf clothing, girl. You was an old school queen. Trying to take that lady's money. This is no shade. This is no shade. Can you imagine having a child with a man and everything about that child? You have pretty much, not everything, but the name. You know, Brooklyn, I think, came from because they met in Brooklyn, I believe. So I think that's how Kenya came up with the name Brooklyn. And then Daly, of course, which is his last name. Can you imagine giving your child a man last name, girl, naming the baby after the city where he basically, he's not from Brooklyn, but his restaurant is in Brooklyn. I think y'all met in Brooklyn or whatever, child. And then now, girl, it's Mad Day. He trying to take your money, hold you up in court. Girl, y'all been fighting. It sounds like to me they've been fighting more. I mean, they've been apart longer than they were married. It should not take all this to get no divorce. But I guess it does when you have somebody like Mark on the other end. Ooh, girl, Kenya. Ooh, girl. You messed up with him. The only good thing that came out of this is your baby. Other than that, ooh, girl. Ooh, girl. Yeah, ooh, girl. Mm-mm. 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 Oh, all right. Audio. So former NBA coach Phil Jackson says he hasn't watched a game since 2020 because of BLM logos and slogans. So former NBA coach Phil Jackson gets real while speaking with Rick Rubin earlier this month for a podcast interview that is now going viral for some comments that Jackson made about the BLM movement. The iconic head coach who retired in 2011 after winning 11 championships throughout his career with the Chicago Bulls and Los Angeles Lakers, stemming from the 90s through the early 2010s, revealed that he hasn't watched a game since 2020. Host Rick Rubin asks, do you still watch a lot of basketball or no? Let me go ahead and play the audio so you can hear what America's favorite coach had to say. Now, I don't keep up with sports like that, but I do know that Phil Jackson did coach some of the greats. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal. It's a few more, but those are the first three. Those are the first three that popped in my head. Okay, so it just amazes me. Let me just play. Let's just play.
Do you still watch a lot of basketball or no? I don't. Tell me about that. When and did you stop immediately from the time you stopped coaching?
No, I didn't. I watched some of the game evolve and decided, and they went into the lockout year and they did something that was kind of wanky. They did a bubble down in Orlando, and all the teams that could qualify went down there and stayed down there.
No audience.
And they had things on their back like, justice and, I made a little funny thing like, Justice just went to the basket and Equal Opportunity just knocked him down. And somebody, I had another name for a guy who has jersey in the back of a jersey, had some other slogan. So my grandkids thought that was pretty funny to play up those names. So I couldn't.
He said my grandkids thought it was funny. Can you imagine a white man who I'm sure made a lot of money off the backs of these niggas running up and down the court, shooting a basketball inside of some string, being around black men his entire career, coming out and basically saying that his grandkids was laughing and that he stopped watching that because, girl, it got too political and y'all was walking around here with Black Lives Matter on y'all back. He said, I want y'all niggas to go out there, dribble a ball, shoot, and then take your niggas, take your homeboys, and go home. Y'all doing too much. That's what it sounded like Phil basically saying to me. Let's keep on.
Watch that. The Lakers won, actually. They won that year. And
do you feel like it just made little of the game, like it made it like a sideshow? What do you think it was that turned you off?
Well, it was They even had slogans on the floor, on the baseline. It was catering. It was trying to cater to an audience or trying to bring a certain audience into play. And they didn't know it was turning other people off, you know. Mm-hmm. People want to see sports as non-political. Mm-hmm. You know, we've had a lot of different type of players that have gone on to be like, you know, Bill Bradley was a senator, number of baseball players been representatives and senators and political, but their politics stay out of the game.
Yeah, it's separate.
Doesn't need to be there.
I don't know how I feel about when I hear people. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and play stupid and say that I don't cringe. I'll say this. I remember when, what's her name, Nancy Pelosi, and some of her homegirls and homeboys were up there in D.C. And remember they had on them kente, had on the kente, they had on the African garb. Remember they was kneeling. They was doing a whole lot. And I was like, ooh, girl. Girl. I was like, okay, girl, y'all is doing the most. You know what I'm saying? When I see things like that, I could see how some people could say that they're making it political. However, I don't think that. I don't know if I agree with basketball players, or I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that across the board. I really don't. In some situations, I can see how some people could say it, but I don't know if I agree with it within this situation. If you do, leave a comment, and then maybe I could probably get a better understanding of why people are saying that they're making this, you know, about politics when it should just be about basketball or football, but we're talking about basketball. So just let me know. You know what? You know, I'm good for being in the comment sections because I be wanting to know what people have to say. I love to hear what other people have to say. And somebody said that's exactly why Scottie Pippen said what he said. And I said, well, what did Scottie say? Yeah. I said, well, what did Scottie say? So I said, well, let me just go to Google. See, this is what y'all problem is, right? Not y'all, but y'all. Shout out. I want to give a shout out to Erica De Niro TV. Yes, girl. Erica dropped a video the other day. She was letting the girls and the boys, the non-binary, gender non-conforming know the girl, she is there. Okay, she's doing great. Okay, she said she ain't going nowhere. Bitch, you know I almost said, girl, you know I was about to come to Sacramento, girl, and be going down the street knocking on the doors. Girl, you know last time Erica went missing, honey, I had to send Nate a DM. Girl, I swear to God I did. Hey, my name is Rodney. You don't really know me. But girl, where's Erica? Girl, I will go searching for the people, okay? So, okay, back to the story. So I was like, you know what? You know, see, this is what people don't realize is that Google is your friend. And you can find a lot of information in Google. And when somebody said this is exactly why Scottie said what he said, I said, well, what did Scottie say? So I went to Google, and I'm going to also put the article in the description box. Scottie Pippen accuses Phil Jackson of being racist. This was from Sports Illustrated, June 28, 2021. Hall of Fame forward Scottie Pippen accused his former coach Phil Jackson of racism Monday, doubling down on an earlier comment about an incident from the 1994 playoffs. While appearing on Monday's Dan Patrick Show, Pippen addressed comments he made in an interview with GQ about a 1994 playoff game between the Bulls and Knicks. With the score tied at 102 with 1.8 seconds remaining, Pippen infamously refused to enter the game. Coming out of a timeout, Pippen stayed on the bench in protest because Jackson elected to draw up the Bulls' last second play for then rookie Tony Kukoc. Girl, I don't know these people's names. Instead of him, Tony went on to make the game-winning jumper. It felt like it was an opportunity to give Tony a rise. Pippen told GQ it was a racial move to give him a rise. After all I've been through with this organization, now you're going to tell me to take the ball out and throw it to Tony? You're insulting me. When asked about his racial comment Monday, Pippen doubled down. Why would Tony, who's a rookie, get the second last shot and you put me out of bounds? That's what I mean. That's what I mean racial, Pippen said. Patrick replied by saying a racial move, then you're calling Phil a racist. I don't got a problem with that, Pippen said. Patrick then directly asked Pippen whether he thought Jackson was or is a racist. Oh, yeah. Do you remember Phil Jackson left the Lakers, went and wrote a book on Kobe Bryant, then came back and coached him? I mean, who would do that? You name someone in professional sports that would do that. And you're Jackson, and you're Jackson who sits in the locker room and tells the players this is a circle and everything stays within the circle because that's what the team is about. But you as a head coach open it up and now you go out and try to belittle at the time probably one of the greatest players in the game. Pippen was referring to the last season, a book published in 2004 after Jackson left the Lakers with whom he won 3 championships while coaching Bryant. The book was critical of Bryant and divulged tensions within the locker room surrounding the team. Jackson would eventually return in 2005 to coach the Lakers and Bryant. The duo went to win 2 more championships in 2009 and 2010. I also read another article, to be fair. I also read another article that Scottie said that I think he walked. Let me make sure. I think I could have sworn I saw. Did he walk it back? Yeah, yeah. There was another article that said he walked it back. So he says I allowed my. He basically says I allowed myself. He was basically saying he don't believe that he's a racist, but he initially did. But I'm just saying, Greg, kind of like this is also what Shannon Sharpe. This is what Shannon Sharpe had to say.
Skip, how old you think Phil is?
How old?
Yeah.
77?
Can you tell dumb politics has always been in sports? Ali, Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
Go back in history of the time. Politics have always been in sports. Jesse Owens.
You remember Phil when he played basketball for the New York Knicks?
Yes.
You know what he was? He was an angry young man, anti-establishment.
Anti-war.
Yep.
Oh, but all of a sudden now,
Dabbled in mind-altering drugs.
all of a sudden now, it turns him off. He's like, they're trying to, what do you say, trying to appeal to an audience? I don't know if you noticed this, Phil, but like 75, 80% of the NBA players,
I think he noticed.
that audience, they watching. They didn't need to appeal to them.
Yes. I think black players carried Phil to all those rings, right?
But, Skill,
That's the gag to me. Like, girl, when you think about what did Skip say, like all the black players carried you to those rings. Girl, like when I tell you white people do not care. But girl, like I have my own thoughts about Black Lives Matter and, how it was basically hijacked. That was something that was meant to be for all black people, but y'all done took it and made it all about just straight black men. Quiet as it's kept. But I don't feel like going down there. I don't feel like doing all that hollering and screaming, so I'm gonna let it go. But it's crazy. It's crazy. I was thinking the same thing. Like, Phil Jackson, you got some nerve? Like, girl. I'm sure every time you want a ring, I don't know. I can't say I'm sure because I don't know how basketball works. Do they get like an extra bonus? If they win a championship? So all the money that you done made off the backs of these niggas, for you to turn around and tell them the girl, just shut up and dribble and play. We don't want to see that bullshit. My grandkids is giggling and laughing at y'all. It's the racist raising racist. Okay. Ooh wee. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. Ain't that a shame? Your love is wonderful. Tory Lanez lawyer claims he has proof in DNA evidence used in the Meg Thee Stallion case was false and misleading. So Tory Lanez lawyer Jose Baez is claiming new information he has about the DNA evidence used to convict the singer will show that his client is actually innocent. As you may recall, the Canadian native is looking at at 22 years in prison for shooting hip hop star Megan Thee Stallion. He also shot Meg Thee Stallion. He also beat up August Alsina. He also beat up Prince, formerly of Love and Hip Hop. I think he's on Bad Boys, Texas. I'm just giving y'all. I'm just running his resume down for y'all, so y'all know how violent Dennis the Menace is. Okay, we're gonna continue though. Tory Lanez's real name, Daystar Peterson, was initially set to be sentenced in January, but the sentencing has been delayed several times after he brought on new defense attorneys. On Tuesday, April the 25th, defense attorney Jose took to Instagram to announce that Tory will be releasing new information that will prove his innocence. However, he didn't elaborate on what the information will be. Jose shared the news via his IG stories and wrote, "Today is National DNA Day, and we're happy to announce that Tory Lanez will be releasing information about the DNA in his case that gave false and misleading information to his jury. According to Tory's social media, the musician plans to reveal the information at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He reposted the lawyer's declaration and wrote the post 6 p.m. Girl, do we really care? Do y'all care? Tory's attorneys previously filed a motion for a new trial. Tory, you going to jail. Now, I don't know for how long. I don't know if it's going to be for a weekend or for a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or the full 22. But, girl, you going to jail. You guilty. You did it. Girl, end the conversation. Girl, next case. Girl, next case. I saw he had came out with some, like, voicemails